Paddles are in it. Everybody sends Morse code today with a paddle. Here's a very common paddle, the Venture BK1 in black, same key in chrome. And if you really feel good to yourself, you can get the exact same key in gold. Doesn't do any better, doesn't do anything different. But yeah, man, that's pretty cool, huh? Brand new to the market is this Venture. It has a magnetic return, no springs, long lever. I have recordings of this key doing 60 words a minute. Wow. 60 words a minute sent by hand is outrageous. And I slowed it down, and that guy, he really is sending what he says he's sending is 60 words a minute using this paddle. That's getting a lot of good press. Here's a very popular Kent dual lever, very popular price, $150. Nice solid feel to it. Kent is the only manufacturer that sells keys in a semi-knockdown form. You can buy them in, not semi-knockdown, fully knockdown, the full kit of some of their keys. Gable is a wonderful, wonderful key company made in Italy. Sells a lot of beautiful keys. And these are, again, these are things that you can buy in the Radio Shack, but if you go searching on the web, they're there. So I did a survey of our DXA members feeling that they were the people who use CW the most, use keyers the most. So I got a good response. 9 people were using Ventures, 5 were using Kent, 3 were using Gable, 3 were using Vibroplex. And I see there's a brand new Vibroplex right here that Bob K2MP brought in. I'm anxious to try that a little bit later. What's that called, the Vibroplex?
It's a Warrior, I think.
Warrior Junior. Junior, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheap, $100.
Yeah.
Nice key. Better than handcuffs.
And then there were all others that make up the 28 response, 1 each. So there are 8 other people all using a different key. So there's a lot of them manufacturers out there. This is an interesting paddle. No moving parts whatsoever. You just touch the levers. There's a couple different ways of doing it. This one changes the capacitance as you touch the lever. That gets detected and it sends the character. So no moving parts at all. These have been on the market for quite a while, but they've never been really, really popular. For one thing, there's no feel.
Right.
If you've been a selector for all your life, and you've gone from a key to a bug to a keyer, everything moved a little bit. This doesn't move at all. Doesn't feel right. But nonetheless, here's another one. Pretty cheap. This WB9KZY makes this paddle as a kit. And that's one thing you all think about. It's really hard to build amateur equipment now because it's pretty complex and what have you. But you can build keyers. There are hundreds of keyer kits on the market. Go to Google, type CW keyer, have a fresh pot of coffee, because you're going to be there for hours. There's all kinds of stuff on the market. Well, in the pre-teletype days, of course, CW was everything. We talked about that before. So there's always been a need to be able to send code better, faster, easier. So as early as the 1920s, they started coming up with commercial machines, such as this 1929 machine that would you type like a typewriter, and out came CW. So that was that's a pretty nice addition. This is we got a couple of these at the museum. I hope to get one working one of these days. But the touch coder one, again, you know, as amateurs, we should be really proud because there's so much new technology that comes out of amateur radio, and this is another one. A touch coder one, all solid state CW generator, came from a QST article. We take this old teletype green keys here, hook them up to some really special circuitry, and out comes CW. Before the days of solid state memory and what have you. So these were really quite the machine. Today, the generation of CW, let's face it, an awful lot of people are using their computer software and the keyboards and what have you. One of the most popular pieces of software that does automatic contest logging and automatic CW sending is today is very popular, and one in that contesting software. This is really, really kind of taking over as a popular method of keying your transmitter, especially during contesting operations. You can put these in what they call the keyboard mode and just send conversationally. But not many people are doing that yet. Here's an attempt by this company called Autronics. You hook that up to your speaker and tuned in some code, and you adjusted the level control until the red light came on, and you adjusted the speed control until the red light started flashing, and then the code would appear in this little window here. Don't go too fast. You got to read real quick. And the problem was not with the electronics. We know that a dot is going to be a dot, and a dash is going to be 3 times longer, and the space between it is going to be 2 digits long. I mean, we just know that's what's going to be.
Right.
So you set up the code machine to copy that. The problem is that none of us sent like that. Even when you're sending with a keyer.
Well, we all send like that. The other people do.
Well, it does. I mean, that sounds pretty good. There we go. Anybody?
Best
Ben's Best Bent Wire. If I sent Ben's Best Bent Keyer all day long on that, this machine probably wouldn't copy it. Because, I have a swing. Even though it's sent on a machine, I have a swing mostly divided by the spacing between when I end the word and start it. The keyer can't change that. That's entirely me, and that's how you get a fist. That's how you get Ed Gable sound like Ed Gable, and Ed Gable doesn't sound like anybody else. Even though we're all sending Morse code. So it was almost, so these things were all destined to fail, these automatic machines. But now comes along yet another software package called CW Skim. So this program is hooked up to the sound card, which is hooked up to the audio output of your receiver. It's listening to a whole, probably 2 kc window here. So anyway, so this thing just sits there all day long and just copies the code and records it. And the real controversial thing about this right now is, what do you do during contests? Because remember this? We said you call CQ, somebody calls you type it in. You don't have to do that anymore. You use CW Skimmer to copy the code. Well, so far people aren't doing that, but it's still real controversial for contest operations. Most people have this thing operating in the background, and they use it just kind of a spotter network to see what's on the band. And of course, another benefit of all these CW programs is it now goes out and operates your transceiver. So this is set to 702566, and you press the button and your transmitter goes there. Same thing with this. This tells you where you are. 20-meter CW. So the software is doing all kinds of things for you. So this now finally allows you to have a machine that will very accurately copy CW.